See, I'm washed behind my years and my peers, so my voice over the snares is the only way they hear what I got behind my membrane. But I've been smoking chem strain, so lately I've been having hard times with remembering. But be patient, my studies prove Egyptians ain't shit, cause I believe that we could be like Neo in the Matrix. But fuck it, I'm erratic, mama lock me in the attic, please, till I draw on the static and my somatic anatomy, and come out imputed with fusions and blueprints and illmatics. I've been going raw, this is how I feel.
What a cool setup. Hey, baby. K-Pos. So, live and in the flesh, it's Slick Diaz, a.k.a. Octagon Jones, a.k.a. Gamebred Spy, a.k.a. Translate Diaz, a.k.a. Bobby Chuckles, your favorite fighter's favorite meme page, cleverweight champion of the world, the Michael Jordan of MMA memes. How we doing? Stockton, motherfucker. Stockton. My nose is fucking... Dude, as soon as I started this podcast, as soon as I started recording, my nose just started itching. We're going to power through it. What's up? As you can tell, if you've watched before or seen me do recordings or anything of the sort, I'm in an attic now. And you're probably wondering, Slick, why haven't you recorded anything for what feels like months? Well, I'll tell you. The coronavirus put the kid through some hard times. Let's be perfectly clear. Silly the kid had to move back in with mom. Bonus of that, besides seeing glorious moms all the time, is in the past year she moved into this 100-year-old house, right? Came with a fucking sick barn in the back, as well as a really dope attic space. And I was up here fucking around, setting up little areas. She already did a lot of it. She's really interiorly designed or whatever. So this is a really cool little space we're working with. It's gonna get a lot of improvement, but I was also thinking of rebranding the podcast at the time. So I just had a thought, MMA Attic, and I really liked it. So I worked on some logos, worked on some studioage, and here we are. I don't have a fancy camera, but I got a mic and I'm going to hog it. Y'all ready? It's what was formerly known as Slick Diaz's MMA Sesh. It was going to be Scrap Chat, but it's MMA Attic on MMA Island. Before we get started, I would like to give a few thanks to some groups of people and some individuals that make this podcast possible, whether it be through support, through brainstorming, through providing me a platform, or just, being around when I need it and asking a question or two, or, whatever. There's a few people that really make this podcast possible. Number one is MMA Island. That is the platform umbrella under which my MMA media personality is sequestered. I'm an MMA Islander to the fucking bone. Coconut Gang, I think, is our shit. So, Coconut Gang in this hoe. And, so MMA Island, it's a huge part of what I do. This podcast will be on the MMA Island YouTube. We're going to have podcast accounts for it, for listeners. We're going to try to get it out, and we're going to try to add this as a new form of media for the MMA Island brand. So this is MMA Attic on MMA Island, right? Capiche? All right, next, my podcast, my solo sessions revolve a lot around this and me predicting fights, right? Me predicting the upcoming card of the week. So the app I use for that is Fight Picks. Now, Fight Picks is like a lot of the fantasy MMA platforms you use, whether it's Tapology or Verdict or anything like that. But I prefer Fight Picks, one, because I know the guy and he works really hard. He's built it all himself. It's a great app because, one, it lets you pick the entire card down to the prelims. You can pick fight to, like result type, round, and winner. You can accumulate points and be on leaderboards and have leagues of your own. You can design a belt and name the league and shit. There's a lot of really cool features to being a member of that app. And known the dude for a long time in MMA social media terms. He's been there basically from the beginning. We've supported each other's pages, and I use his shit all the time. So this thank you session at the beginning is like my sponsorship. So I'm not making shit off this money, or like I'm not getting any money off of any of this yet. But as far as sponsors, like who makes this podcast go, it's MMA Island, it's Fight Picks, it's What the Fuck Network, and all of my regular co-hosts that I will be having on MMA Attic. So MMA Attic, excuse me, while I drink this water to make me smarter. MMA Attic will consist of weekly episodes of me, maybe even bi-weekly episodes of me doing a solo session up here, just bullshitting, and then typically I will add one or two little mini segments or mini shows that I have with one of my co-hosts, like one of my guest co-hosts that I'll regularly have on recurringly. I'll have random people on, I'll have groups of people on every now and then. It's going to be a podcast interview type thing where I have a mini show about analysis and running the numbers, and then on the contrast to that, my buddy who I run that one with, Michael Fry of MMA Island, he runs Headline Island, our news. We do AI like predictions, and he has a MMA calculator that we use for that show. So he does the MMA math, and I bring the thematics, where I'm like, okay, but if you look at like this, what, like basically like super in-depth, dumb, like thematic shit, like what happened the week of, like, just like telephone tag fucking information that doesn't mean anything, but I'm gonna mystically put together to come up with like an equally powerful thing to his MMA math. He will have MMA like math, like actual analytics and shit, and I will have the power of fucking Fiesta and Siesta. I'll harness some fucking ancient orb to start getting shit right based on like not numbers, but just blasting off on some shit. So I'm not talking like DMT or anything. I'm just talking like I'm known to brain blast on some dumb shit. So I have MMA math thematics. I've got Combat Jones, which might be a monthly thing where I get with one of the hosts of the Combat Hour, Marshall Turner, and we talk general combat sports world stuff. He fills me in on boxing. He's my resident boxing guy that I like to go to whenever I have a question about anything, because I'm about as boxing casual as it gets. So we talk about boxing and general MMA news and combat sports in general, I guess. Then we've got Hand Wraps, which is like news and like predictions and just MMA chat with Zach Harkness of MMA Island fame and glory. He runs Underdog Island. He is Mal Pacino, and he does a lot of our interviews, and he all around solid MMA brain. So I'm always lucky to have a chat with him when I can. And then there might be room for more eventually, but we've also got Intro to Degeneracy, which you know and love, with Eddie Pennybets, the degenerate himself. So it's like a 101 course, He talks betting, and I just listen, ask him questions, learn what I can about odds and shit, because I honestly have no fucking clue about it. So I recognize that I am sort of off the wall. You can't really trust me with predictions and shit. So I bring in people to make up for it, y'all. I'm not an MMA brain. I'm the great bridge between men and minds. How about that? So I'm bringing my friends together to try to bring you as good of a podcast as I can and filling in my gaps in MMA knowledge and stuff. So I hope this endeavor turns out well. I think that's all of them. Let me make sure, because I have it written. For those of you not watching and only listening, I've got MMA Attic on this composition notebook, but you can't see it because it's backwards. I should have written it back. Anyway, let's see. Yes, we've got Intro to Degeneracy, Hand Wraps, Combat Jones, MMA Mathematics, and the solo sessions, which is what we're doing right now. This is a solo session with Slick Diaz. So I did the intro. I got the brought to you buys, and normally I'd have a news, like a chit chat, like a what happened this week. But honestly, I haven't been, like, I've still been moving in and getting back into the swing of things. So I'm not really as up to date as I normally am with the goings on in MMA this week or month, you know. So we've got some community questions we'll get to at the end, but we've got my picks, my full in-depth picks that I'll be giving to y'all because that's mostly what the show's about, which includes Fighter Watch and the Schoolyard Rules. And then to cap it off, before the community questions, I've got this segment where I'm gonna will something into existence, like it's called Slick Diaz and the Sorcerer's Stone. Like I'm gonna be fucking making potions and shit up here for, you know, my favorite fighter on the card, and like some, most of the time saying some off the wall shit about what's gonna happen. You know, throwing sprigs of whatnot and tree branch into a boiling cauldron and smoking a J while doing it, like doing MMA shit. So that probably didn't make any sense, but it did in my head because the sorcerer's fucking stoned. So we can just get into the picks because I've been rambling. But the fun thing about the new and refreshed podcast is it's not only my picks. I moved into my mom's house, right? I'm using her attic as a storage or as a studio. I'm gonna be using her barn as a studio sometimes. I'm living under her, and it's mom's, right? So sometimes I've gone up to her and been like, "Hey," and I scrambled. Like she doesn't know who's the favorite or anything, and I'm like, "Who would win? This guy, this guy. Just who do you think based on the name or whatever?" And so she just give me names, and sometimes she's right, sometimes she's wrong, just like every MMA fan. So what we've decided to start doing is taking motherboard's blind picks. So I go through the card and I get her take her full picks. She's not doing round or type of victory or anything. She's going blind picks. Just I scramble it. She doesn't know who's the favorite, who's the underdog, and she picked the whole card based on names and just immediate like gut instinct. So I'll give you hers real quick, and then I'll give you mine, which is a slightly more detailed and informed, albeit probably more incorrect pick than even my mom. She was just guessing because I don't know shit. So I figured, hey, like it might be fun, you know. The reason that sounded weird is because I was about to say hell, but then I said and I just mixed them up. So I don't know what I said, but I didn't like it. Starting at the bottom, she's got Ibrahimov losing to Marquez. She's got Hughes taking it to Espino, Knight over Kamur, Klein over Young, Matthews over Sanchez, De Silva over Riddell, Tukagov over Dawodu, Eubanks over Vieira, Roy Val over Cara France, Blachowicz over Reyes, and Costa over Adesanya. She picked most of the underdogs. That's my fucking mom's. Where do you think I get it from? I do that too. It's like I made this meme one time, and it was the scene from Lords of Dogtown. And there's this kid, Sid, who's got like an equilibrium issue. So he's got like sensitivity. He can't feel his like balance and shit. So one day they're like skating, and then they make him skate the pool, and then he falls, and then he's like on the floor, like all fucked, like because he fell, and then he pulls a joint out of his frocket, and they're like, "Oh, are you okay?" And he's like, "I can't feel my feet," and then they're like, "Oh shit!" And then he pulls the joint out, and he's like, "But then again, I can never feel my feet," and like so. Slick Diaz, it's like it's like I picked the underdog, and it's like oh, everyone's like, oh fuck, dude, like you shouldn't have done that. And it's like, but then again, I always pick the underdog, so don't feel bad for me because I fucking do it to myself every time. So yeah, so she picked most of them, most of the dogs. But let's get to mine. I've got round and type, if that makes it any better. But watch, mom's gonna do better than me. Like I'm not even fronting. First time we're doing it, it's just bound to happen. I'm bound to like fuck this up. So I've got Marquez subbing Ibrahimov in round one. I've got Espino, the tough alum, uh, getting a decision victory over Hughes. I don't know if I said Matt Hughes the first time. I definitely didn't mean to. But I feel like I did because I almost said it right now. I'll have to watch and make sure. I've got Kimura getting a decision victory over Knight. Both of that's going to be a really fun fight. I think Knight's 8-1 and Kimura's 6-0. Both of them are coming off good interesting / good last performances. Kimura's fight was a cool fight. Kind of poured it on and got better as like it went on. So I like Kimura here. I got Cara France also getting a finish on somebody who's never been finished. I think that Roy Val, he also has 4 decision losses, just like Eubanks. Someone was saying that Kai Kara has so many like decision victories, he needs to get a finish to keep his nickname "Don't Blink," and I'm prone to agree. I'm prone to agree with that. So I think he's going to get him. I think he's going to catch him in something quick, and I think he's going to get a round 1 submission. But not to discount Royval, he's fucking awesome. That's how I see it going. I'm probably fucking wrong and stupid. You stupid idiot! You got an MMA fight wrong. All right. Next, I got Blachowicz over Reyes. I don't think he finishes him. I think it's a fight of the night, dude. I think that both of these dudes want it bad, and I think that it's a fight of the night contender along with Riddell, the Riddell fight. Um, yeah, Reyes seems almost uninterested in this fight right now. Uh, it's weird. The press conference really threw me off. He was just being he was being strange. He was like, okay, dude, like whatever. He was like, it threw me off bad. And Jan touches sacred life ropes or death ropes. I mean, it's some intense shit. Jan Blachowicz, it's a powerful man, and I just think he's going to get the job done on Dominic Reyes. I think it's going to be a great, great fight. That's just how I'm feeling or thinking. I can't tell. I can't tell these days. I don't know the difference between my brain and my. It's the same shit. So I'm just stupid. uh, and next, two undefeated fighters, one champion, one who wants to be champion. Uh, Made him sound French. That wasn't my intention. We got Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa, Stylebender versus Bohachinia. Izzy taking on the fucking hard hitting, large shitting, girl kissing fucking Brazilian and Paulo Costa. Uh, but honestly, word to Joseph Benavidez and Henry Cejudo. I heard Adesanya used to fuck dudes like Costa in high school. Uh, don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard, and I'll leave it at that, man. But both of these dudes are really talented. Adesanya, I mean, what more is there to say? His last performance, it's a dub over a really tough guy. Granted, it was a weird fight. It was a fucking weird fight. But most people hated it, and I'm not in that camp. I didn't hate it because live, although it wasn't action packed, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. The intensity was fucking massive. So I don't really call that like a loss entertainment wise. I just think it was more of like a thriller than like a jump and scare, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. But it wasn't like it wasn't a blockbuster. It wasn't a knock it out of the park entertaining fight, but I enjoyed it live even though it was anticlimactic. Whereas on the other hand, that was Izzy's last fight. Paulo's last fight was also against Yoel Romero. It was fucking fireworks, dude. That's one of my favorite fights ever. So I don't know what you can garner from that, but I mean, because you can't put two and two together and make a fucking omelet. You gotta. There's steps. You gotta really think about these things. And while I'm inclined to say that the champ fucking keeps his strap, like I this is my second time recording this. I've said Costa, like I've got Costa circled. I've got a round 3 KO for Costa, but Izzy's too good, man. He's got swagger. He's got style. He's precise. He's creative. And, I mean, Paulo's just powerful and mean and goes forward and doesn't give a fuck. My question is, what happens when they're both there? Like, after the first 2 rounds are just a war. What happens? Who holds up better? I know that both of these dudes are tough as fuck, but I have a feeling, I don't know. I truly don't know. It's a very hard fight to pick, isn't it? I can't think of the last time. I know that what was it, Rashad and Machida? That was two undefeated fighters for a championship. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's gonna be a fucking barn burner. Like that, I don't want to fucking jinx it. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I just. All right. All right, I got Paulo Costa here. I got Paulo Costa, even though I'm inclined to believe Izzy can pull it off, dude. I really think he can pull it off. But I think Paulo can too. I love the fact that Paulo is so proud about the fact that he wants to be the champion. Like he wants to be our champion. Like that's what's cool about it. Like Izzy is a great champion, but he's not the kind of champion I thought he would be. And I don't know. I think that Paulo Costa winning here sets up a beautiful trilogy, and maybe that's why I'm inclined to root for Costa here. And me rooting for someone means I'm picking them in the fight, and if I was a betting man, I'd be betting on them. So, yeah, I don't. I have a hard time separating my feelings from my brain. That's why I don't do it. This is just free form. I'm waxing poetic to you. I'm burning incense here, guys. This is a solo session. But yeah, I got Costa by third round KO TKO. I almost feel like it's a fourth. I almost feel like it's the fourth round, but I've just been thinking about this fight way too much, and I have no idea what's going to happen. So I don't know. Love them both, though. Love them both. Uh, as far as the rest of this segment goes, we've got the Slick Diaz Fighter Watch, which is a moment where I, tell you which fighter I'm like deep down, like really really looking forward to watching on the card, or like who I think is going to have a great performance. And that's my man Brad Riddell. Anytime he's on the fucking card, one, I think it's going to be fight of the night, and two, I think he's my fighter watch. That's just how it goes, Jack. This is my attic, my rules. I don't care. I've got the schoolyard rules, as a matter of fact, next. The schoolyard rules are where I focus on like finishing stats, and maybe I just renamed some stats that already exist. But I've developed what's called a finish line, which is of their fights, the two that I pick, like in a matchup on the card, of their fights, what's the percentage, the overall percentage of the fights that get finished. So, for example, Costa has. Secrets out, guy. I meant to lead up to it, but I just said it. So, because I was looking to try to explain it, and it's right here. So, Costa has won 12 out of 13 fights, right? No, he's finished 12 out of 13 fights. He's gone to decision one time. So his finish plus percentage, or his finish line, is .923. Whereas Israel's is 14 out of 19. He's gone to 5 decisions. So that's a 73% chance, or that's a 73% discrepancy between like the amount of times he's been in a fight that's been finished. The finish line is the average of that, of the two. God, dude, and I've recorded it 3 times. I've smoked 3 joints, so I'm just fucking baked like a cake, I guess, and rambling. But let me recompose. Finish line is taking an average of each respective fighter's record, and of the fights, how many of them have been finished. Whereas the finish plus percentage is of the fights that have been finished in their career, what is the percentage of the time that they're doing the finishing. Makes sense? The finish plus percentage? Not really, but it makes sense in my head. I just always have such a hard time explaining it. I almost want to get a graphic that explains it so I don't have to try to mince words about it every time. I just wasted like 10 minutes on that. But, yeah. So the finish plus percentage for both of these guys is 100 because they've never been finished. So of the fights that get finished in their careers, or that have gotten finished in their careers, they are the ones doing the finishing. So their finish plus percentage is both 100%. But the finish line for total fights coming to a finish is 83% between the two of them. So it's likely that this fight gets finished, but every time that I say that, every time I do one of these and I say that, oh, it's going to be a finish, it goes to a decision. So maybe it's just a fight of the year contender between these guys. Who knows? I bet it will be. I mean, it's going to be a great fight. Dana's like, I never guarantee it's going to be a great fight, but it's going to be a great fight. That's how I feel. So that's the finish line and finish plus percentage. Really butchered it. The first two or three times I did it, I did it pretty okay. But now I didn't do it so good. And as you can tell, the sorcerer me is stoned, and so it's the next segment I got is Slick Diaz and the sorcerer's stoned, where basically I harness cosmic energy and stir my fucking boiling cauldron of twigs and berries and like root leaf and shit to will one of these fights to go my way. It's like my fucking lend me your energy. So the Sorcerer's Stone, will it into existence, pick of the week is, I think Diego Sanchez is going to have a clear-cut decision victory over Matthews. I think he's going to take him to school. Not to say that Matthews isn't a really talented cat. This one's got to happen, man. This is what's got to happen. I don't know. I really don't know, man. Yeah. I guess I got some questions now. Because now I'm getting all like, about Diego. I'm getting like all, yeah, we got community questions. Sayani Gutierrez says, Costa Rica or Israel? Well, geographically, I'm neutral, I guess. I have no opinion because I'm not educated, but in terms of combat, I guess Costa Rica. Costa Rica or Israel? Pretty good question. One Bodacious says, how does it feel to know Izzy will KO Costa in 2 come Saturday? I feel nothing. I know not of this. This is not what I know. So for you to ask me, how does it feel to know this, and this is something that I do not know, I do not compute. Music-related-ish says, how does Chandler do in the UFC? I think he's one of the best in the world, dude. I really do. But I think he's got to go through someone like Paul Felder to break in. I think him fighting for the world title on backdrop, like in case Khabib or Gaethje falls out of this fight, it's strange. I think Michael Chandler said he wants to put on fucking great fights while he's here. Be hard pressed to find a better fucking entertainer. Well, not, I mean, Paul Felder's hard as all fuck. That's the thing. Like, I love watching Paul Felder scrap. I think Michael Chandler, Paul Felder would just be, that'd be the cream of the crop. That'd be a great, great fight. Yeah. I think that he could contend with the best. I don't know about him winning the title off Khabib, but I mean, hell, if he makes a run and puts himself in position, I'd like to see it. But I think he does really well. But I don't know. I haven't consulted the Oracle at Octagonus in a while. I might have to do some fucking sniffing salts or something and get in touch with like the elements to try to figure out what's going to happen for Mike Chandler. Aiden says, why doesn't she love me? Well, I think that her heart might not be able to articulate the complexities of a language as intricate as love. You know what I mean? Some people have to mature into knowing what love is. Some people never learn what love is. don't know. Maybe she just doesn't know what love is. Or maybe you message her too much or something. I don't know. Let's see. Combat Hour says, "Who's that creature hiding in the attic? How dare you? It's me. I'm the creature hiding in the attic. Don't call me that." Phase and Blaze in 505 says, "All I want is predictions." Well, I gave you those just a second ago. User 7261-1 says, "Quick question. Will Eddie Pennybets be giving picks? He's been lights out lately, and I'm trying to get the picks in advance. Well, you and FaZe and Blazin are in luck because that's who I have on right now. Slick Diaz and Eddie Pennybets live in the MMA Attic right now. Right.
We're live.
Sweet. What's up, everybody? Welcome to MMA Attic off of MMA Island. This is Slick Diaz, your host. I'm joined by the wonderful master degenerate himself, Eddie Pennybets. We're back after a long hiatus. How you doing, Eddie?
Very good. Happy to be here.
Good. So, little birdie told me that you may have made a preemptive bet. You want to tell me a little about that?
Oh, yes. So FanDuel didn't pull the line for the Glover.
Wait. Last time we chatted, you were still on 5 Dimes. You got to tell us a little bit about your life, buddy. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, this summer I've decided to take my talents over to the Pennsylvania gambling book known as FanDuel Sportsbook. It was a tough decision, but fuck, I kind of forget the rest of the words to the parody. It's been like 10 years since LeBron made that announcement. But yeah, no, I've officially landed in Pennsylvania, and I am ready to rock in the heart of Pennsylvania. We are going to place some bets legally for a change.
Yeah, finally, right? Stop
Right.
running from the lawman. All right, so, yeah. First off, do you remember where you were the day that the announcement happened? The decision, rather, for LeBron. Do you remember where you were?
If I remember correctly, it happened the summer going into. It was either the 2011 or 2012 season. So I was in the house that I had grown up in when the announcement happened, probably. Either that or out causing shenanigans.
Oh, I was at my buddy's house. I must have been like 14, 13 or something. And I just remember on ESPN, it popped up in like the whole side. But you know how they have the ticker and like everything just is like broken down by the 15-minute period or whatever. It was just a picture of LeBron James, the whole thing. And that was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that.
He's an iconic guy. Yeah, an iconic guy that somehow managed to just completely monopolize ESPN. They haven't gone a day without talking about LeBron, and probably since that announcement. Even before that, so like at least a decade.
Yeah. All right, so enough basketball talk. Sorry. We're keeping it concise on this version of our show. Last time, we rambled and ranted and kind of went on for hours and hours. So let's get right into it. We've got UFC 253 on the horizon in 2 days? Mr. Pennybets, I'm going to ask you for your most confident and least confident pick of the card.
Okay. So most confident is tough because it's not that I'm confident in these picks per se. I just feel like there's a lot of value there. Mm-hmm. So I guess the one with the most value that I feel is I feel like Jan Blachowicz at +2. I think I got him at like +290. Basically what they're saying is that the book thinks that Dominic Reyes is going to win at like a 75% rate. I just don't think that's the case. I think it's a lot closer of a fight than people are giving. So I don't even really necessarily say like Blachowicz. Jesus, I almost just combined both of his names there.
Blonde Jakovic.
Yeah, Blachowicz. No, Blachowicz, I think, might. He's at least going to go the distance with him. Like, I don't think Reyes is going to take him out. I could be wrong on that, but he at least goes the distance at. I got him at plus 220. He's now at plus 290, so I'm on the wrong side of that line, technically. Should have waited a little bit longer, but I got excited. I saw the line. Felt like there was a lot of value there. I thought it was going to go the other direction, so I jumped in quick. Didn't necessarily hit for me, but we'll see how it goes Saturday night. As least confident, I have 2 units on Diego Sanchez at plus 490 against Jake Matthews. Again, another one of those where like I don't think that he might necessarily win, but Jake Matthews has shown to have some cardio issues at times. Diego Sanchez is a cardio monster. They're fighting at 170, which Diego has shown to like have a good gas tank at 170 and be the crafty veteran. And Jake Matthews, although is not at all a rookie, he is a rookie in comparison to Diego. Absolutely. So unless he starts catching him early, the fight's going to start getting a little sloppy around the second round. There's going to be a lot more grappling, and that's going to tire out Matthews even more so, which has always kind of been his Achilles heel, if you will. Mm-hmm. It's been more of a striker. He's got very solid boxing, so you got to legitimately worry about him knocking out Diego. But when it comes, it's more a stereotype than anything at this point because they've proven otherwise. But Australian wrestlers have never been something that you hear a whole lot about. So I can see Diego.
You hear about maybe one or two.
Yeah, Whitaker is like the biggest name in that sense. But yeah, so like I could see Diego grappling him, and I actually threw I think I threw a full unit. Yeah, I threw a full unit on it, and it's going to be part of the fuckaroo parlay. But I have
the fuckaroo parlay of the week.
The fuckaroo parlay of the week. I have half a unit on that, and it's at plus 12,880. So that's 12,880. So for every dollar you put down, you would get $128.80 back. That's how ridiculous of a parlay this is. Likelihood of it hitting?
Yep.
Not so much, but one of the pieces of the puzzle. I'll give a little suspense because I thought that you were going to transition in there. Let's save the fucko parlay. We'll save the rest of the fucko parlay of the week till the end of the show. But for now, the piece that I'm going to talk about, just because I've already mentioned him, Diego Sanchez by decision plus 900. That's
crazy to me.
Very interesting, right?
That's fucking crazy to me. Okay.
Does that not feel like I'm going to butcher his name, but Figueiredo by submission at plus 750?
No,
Joel Alvarez plus 750 submission. It feels like it's on that same wavelength. So I threw it in the fuckaroo parlay of the week.
We did good that week.
That was a savage Saturday night for me, and there wasn't any football to lose all the money on the next day, so it was actually quite a nice cash out.
Yeah. All right, so you're a betting man, so you don't bet the whole card like me. I'm not a betting man, and I pick the entire thing. But what we're doing with Mr. Pennybets to keep it high and tight is we're taking 5 bets from him each week. So without further ado, I'd like to hear which 5 fights you're putting your money on this week, Mr. Dollar Gamble.
Dude, you're like my old history teacher. I'll tell this story, and if anybody knows this story, then they might be able to figure out who this mysterious Eddie Pennybets is. But there was a Russian history teacher. He didn't teach Russian history. He was just Russian, but taught history. Mm-hmm. And at my school, he taught freshman history. Well, he taught a bunch of history, but for me, it was freshman history. And he would just randomly start screaming in his rants. And it wasn't even anything like he would just start being loud now, even though there's nothing going on in the sentence that requires you to be loud. And then he would just go back to quiet. And I fell asleep in his class a lot. So that would always be like what would pop my head back up. And I'd immediately come back in and he'd be like talking about absolutely nothing. But anyway, he used to actively call Justin Timberlake Jackson Lumber Pond. Like knowing that it was wrong. It was the ultimate dad joke. But anyway, my 5 picks for the week, as we try to keep this on the rails, as
That was
hard as we
beautiful,
can.
sir.
Yeah, Jackson Lumberpond. I need to do something with that in the animation world. I just can't. I don't know.
He's an announcer.
Yeah, that actually is a tremendous Jackson Lumberpond here.
Yep. Yeah,
Channel
exactly.
86 News. Anyway, so as I've said, I got Diego Sanchez,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got Yanni Boy Blachowicz.
Yep.
But I also have homeboy that threw some strikes on McGregor during the
Tugakov?
scuffle. Yes, I was looking to you when it came to enunciation there. There's a lot
Yes.
of consonants, and I don't know what direction to
I
take.
think it's Zubaira Tukagov, but I'm not
Yes.
100%.
Yes, Zubaira is his first name. So yeah, we're taking the Zubs. I think that Duadu is good. Don't get me wrong. I just think that this is another one of those scenarios where the grappling is going to be more of an effect, and everyone's like, "Oh, bigger cage, it's going to help out the striker and stuff like that." I don't know. I have a feeling that it's going to initiate some abilities for grappling exchanges, or at least some getting guys up against the cage through strike, like starting off with striking. You know how it is with the wrestlers in the beginning. They come out striking
Yep.
with the intent of the grapple.
Yeah,
End up
using
against the cage.
it as a weapon for
I was
it.
like missing the word in my head. I couldn't
It's a gateway drug.
Yes, but no, it was start off with the striking with the intent of grappling, get him up against the cage, do some of the dirty boxing inside the grappling, kind of control position there, inevitably get a takedown. That's kind of Zubaira's game. Duadu's another one that's kind of had some cardio issues at times, so I feel like when you take a guy that's shown to have cardio issues, we've got some wild stuff going on in the world that have caused some people to not be able to train as openly as they normally would. And you get a guy
you make a
who's
good
a
point on this
massive
fight,
wrestler.
Eddie. You make a good
Yeah,
point.
it took me a while to get there, but I got there. We took the scenic route twice, got lost, and then still somehow managed to get to the destination. But yeah, so that's my next one. And then who else is left on this list? Izzy. Izzy's my last one.
That was 5? I thought that was 4. That's 5? Okay.
That might be 4, yeah. Oh, I think the 5th pick is the fucko parlay of the week.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, I like Izzy in this one. I think that Paulo is definitely aggressive, has the ability to land a strike even though he might get hit 2 or 3 times in the process.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of Izzy getting hit doesn't really scare me as much in this one as it did in the beginning. I don't know if it's something about this week or what it is, but I feel like Paulo is gonna get pieced up here. I feel like there's levels to this with the striking. I think the Yoel fight, you definitely have to take into account that he takes some serious damage coming in and just brushes it off and lands even worse damage. But I think that the severity of the strike landed is going to be higher with Izzy due to the fact that it might be faster, more technical, more accurate on where it's landing. It's not going to graze off the side of the head. It's going to land more on the jaw or temple region. So stuff like that is why I feel like Izzy's going to win this fight. But I think he's going to win by decision. So I actually took him by the points. So for the points, winning by decision is plus 340. I threw a unit on that, and then I threw 2 units on Izzy at minus 184.
Okay.
And for anyone who doesn't know what a unit is, it's your standard amount that you bet with. So like what you'd on average put down for a bet. It's kind of a way to manage your bankroll so that you don't just blow your load on one pick and bet the whole bankroll and then lose it, and then it's just gone in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
You only bet it's supposed to be
means of self-management.
Yeah, it's supposed to be about 5% of whatever you deposit. So if you deposit $100, your unit would be $5.
This is what you're here for, guys. This is Intro to Degeneracy. I too am just introductory at this point. And so the basis of this show is to give you little info tidbits, get you used to the betting world and terminology, and putting it in terms of something that we're all interested in. MMA. That's what Eddie likes to bet. That's what I like to talk about. So we got Intro to Degeneracy. Boom. And now that we've given you a little intro for the day, how about we get into the Degeneracy? What the fuck you? It's changed. Change situation money. The Degeneracy parlay of the week. The fucko pick? What'd you call it?
Oh, fucko parlay of the week. You lag during all of that, but as long as it comes through on your side with the recording, then I think we're good. Oh shit, I'm recording it. Never mind. So we might have a little bit of lag there. What did you say?
I said, this is this is intro to Degeneracy. So we gave you a little intro. We're gonna teach. Eddie's gonna teach us stuff along the way as far as telling us what a unit is, little this that's that we don't know about, or we just think might be useful or helpful in our gambling journey. Although I'm not much of a betting man, but now we get to the fun stuff. It's the intro to Degeneracy. So what's our degenerate fucko line of the parlay of the week, guy?
Fucko parlay of the week. I've kind of been talking about it already. So if someone's able
you gave us some hints.
Yeah, so we have Diego by decision at plus 900. We have Izzy by decision at plus 340, and then we have Subara at by decision at plus 195. That together gives you a 3-team parlay at plus 12,888. So if you put $1 on that, you'd get $120 back. Excuse me, just had a whole plethora of chicken franchise. Absolutely phenomenal meal. Highly suggest anybody get into it if you don't know what it is. It's a white wine lemon sauce. Absolutely tremendous.
Hold on. Give them. They can't see you, but give them a chef's kiss, Eddie. Mwah.
Mwah.
All right.
You can just hear the Northeast in it.
So that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, my friend. And that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to penny bet our way to the top. We're gonna be rich men by the time we're 70, right?
Dude, if this hits, like, I don't have to pay rent this month. Like, I do, but this pays rent.
It's paid.
I don't know, so
gorgeous.
Like, decent amount of money. So we'll see what happens off of it, you know? It's nothing crazy. As for, should I just go through every pick and do the unit measurement of it?
If you'd like.
Yeah.
And then we'll get in, and then we'll give them your information and stuff, and then we'll get out of here.
Word. Yeah, how are we doing on time?
That's you, not me.
Sorry, I'm watching on my phone Thursday Night Football. We got Miami. We're only at 16 minutes.
I'm guessing we're 20. Oh, I was going to say 22. Okay.
Oh, look at us. Look at us.
We can go between 15 and 30 for these.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. No worry for me. Okay, so to start our night off, who fights first? I think it is Diego Sanchez versus Jake Matthews might be the first on the list here. It's either that or Zabara. So
this is Eddie's weekly short list that we're working with.
Yeah, so this is what I'm telling you I'm gambling on. So when you follow it and like it hits or doesn't hit, like you guys don't do too much damage. I will bet on every fight, but I'm similar to like Booger. Like I try to get in my prediction as late as possible.
Yeah.
It's looking like you. No, I thought you froze on me for a second. You were just extremely still.
Sorry, I was writing something down.
Yeah, so to start it off, we've got a unit on Zabara at the minus 122 money line, but then also we have half a unit on him on the points at plus 195. So as long as he wins money line, like say he wins inside the distance, we still win cash. We just don't win as much because the return on a unit at minus 122 is like just under like 0.8 of a unit, so it's still above that half unit that we threw on the decision prop bet.
Yeah.
So say he doesn't win by decision but still wins, you know, we still make money, a couple pennies, but it's not the end of the world. Then after that, I've got 2 units on Diego Sanchez at the plus 490. The line is just so egregious for somebody who's such a veteran in the game.
Exactly.
Like season 1 Ultimate Fighter.
That's my whole thing. It's like I'm going to say this, or I already said this, or I'm going to say this in my solo session, but Diego Sanchez is an auto pick for me. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who he's fighting. It doesn't matter what weight, doesn't matter what time, doesn't matter what he had for fucking lunch or didn't have for lunch. I'm picking Diego Sanchez. That's just the way it is. He's a veteran. He's been here. He's seen it all. I know that Jake's a stud, but I got to pick Diego.
Yeah. And this is another X factor that has not a lot to do with what made me make the pick, but at least on social media, he seems to be at like a prime level of lunacy right now.
Yep.
Like not too far into the deep waters where he starts to like get lost, but still out pretty deep. Half of his tweets are just, I can't even read them because of the grammatical errors.
Hey, careful. I'm in the Sanchez army on Twitter. You better be fucking careful, bro. Hold on.
Hey, I have my own army.
What the fuck? I'm in that army too, bro.
Yeah, so you're technically one of my soldiers. But, so then after Diego, what else do we got? Oh, then we got the co-main. The co-main, I was explaining it earlier, and I got 4 units on that. That's actually a max pick for me. It's kind of a heavier pick for me. But with Jan, maybe I got a little too excited with the odds. But, at plus 220, I think that he is a very, very, very interesting option for plus 220. I mean, he's been on a hell of a roll. He's got very strong striking. His pace is not something crazy. Like, I don't feel worried about him going into a 5-round fight. He doesn't really blow his load. He seems to have to maintain throughout, where he's kind of constantly at 80% instead of like
Agreed.
Ever going to 100%, which is nice.
Agreed. That's one of the things I like about him.
And then there's something about betting against Polish. It just
never goes well.
Never goes well. I mean, I don't know. A guy with a beard and a dirty mouth might have said that earlier this week, but you got to agree with that one.
Yeah.
I mean, Joanna's really the only example of where that didn't work out lately, but it worked out a lot longer than it didn't work out. So
I saw this neat promo. It was like, we've had a Polish person, a Polish MMA fan. We've had a Polish queen of MMA for a long time. It's about time we have a king, and it's like Jan Blachowicz, who huge light heavyweight Polish man. It's like, that's perfect. Like it's just perfect.
Sold. And then the last pick is just the 2 units on Izzy at the minus 184. So whatever you normally bet, double it up, throw it on Izzy, and then
you calling
take
it a decision?
Bet. Yeah, I think it goes decision. I think that Paulo is like a very durable guy, and I think that Izzy's going to be smart enough to realize, similar to the Yoel fight, he can't initiate the engagements. He has to set the traps and then punish for falling into said traps. Paulo is not as wise as Yoel, in my opinion, when it comes to this. I feel like Paulo's just going to be like, oh, I come smash this guy. Like,
Paulo's coming to win. Yoel wasn't.
Yeah, like I break skinny guy or whatever he says, whatever his line is. I'm not good at broken English, as you can tell.
He's like, I won't. I'm not going to do it to prove I am their champion. That's my Paulo Costa.
I got a decent amount of hearing loss, and I feel like being able to do impressions because of that is just like very hindered. I just don't have. I can't do it, Captain. That's about all I've got.
That's not a bad impression to have in your back pocket for saying you can't do impressions.
I don't have the power. That's all I've got.
Yeah.
If anybody knows what that's from, I mean, I'm kind of hint.
No, let's hear it in the comments and shit.
Yeah, I may or may not be watching a major factor of said movie on Thursday Night Football.
True.
And then last thing, sorry to keep cutting you out, but last thing, the fucko parlay. But I would put, because it brings back $128 per dollar, no need to go over $10. More than likely gonna lose it. Because this is the fucko parlay of the week, so bet accordingly. But understand that if this does hit, we're paying off rent, fellas.
Yep. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So, you're making me want to join a sports book.
Yeah. Well, you can't go to 5 Dimes anymore, because here's another little gambling tip. I'm sure if anybody was with 5 Dimes that they know by now that in an attempt to become a legal U.S. book, they actually have to disconnect all the quote-unquote illegal accounts in the U.S.
Oops.
So I mean, we had like pennies in there at this point.
Yeah.
Although if Dallas
I think
wins the Stanley Cup,
I think I still have like $15, $25 in mine.
yeah, like
But
apparently, if you didn't pull your money out within like a certain day, that like I don't know, people who like track down where like money is supposed to go to. I forget what the name of it is. It's not an auditor. It's not like any of that stuff. But like someone might reach out
a
and be
money
like,
hound.
someone might be like, "Hey, I have this cash for you. That like apparently is yours. Do you want it?" I mean, me personally, like if Dallas hits, then yeah, I hope that person does contact me. But if they don't win the Stanley Cup, it doesn't matter because I pretty much just like
When is that?
put some stupid bets. Game 4 starts on Saturday. Right now,
it's already happening.
yeah, Tampa is playing Dallas, and Dallas won the first game. It looked like it was going to be a very interesting series, and then since then, Tampa has come back and been the Tampa Bay of last year, the most winning regular season team in NHL history. Just dominant force in the offense. Game 3, Steven Stamkos comes back in the first period, snipes a goal, shoots at like 1,000% for the period, then is not back in anymore. And if you don't know, yeah, he's been suffering injury problems like his entire career, and especially during key moments like in the playoffs or in the Stanley Cup final, because they were in the final in 2015, 2016, I think it was, that they were in. Yeah, I was like 21 years old at the time. So I was in Tampa while that was all happening. I was going to all the games, getting like student rush tickets, being like
Yeah.
on the glass for like
I mean,
30
you're right
bucks.
there anyway. So
It was nuts. It was nuts. But yeah, that's all I got for the gambling side of things. If anybody wants to give me some question or shoot me some questions or follow along to the mania or even check out some of my animations, you can follow me on Instagram at or Twitter at epennybets, Instagram at Eddie Pennybets, and then usually the What the Fuck Network reposts my stuff so you can catch it there too.
Yep, and that's the only places we can find Eddie Pennybets, right? I'm pretty sure. I've looked other places. I think that's the only areas we got for you. So I think that covers the bases. Yeah, pal?
Yeah, I don't think I'm big enough yet to have like one of those Russian fan accounts that just like repost my stuff and like puts the DM over it.
Imagine, dude. That would be so damn funny. All right.
Yeah, that's the type of fame you got to look for in life.
Yeah. Before we run it off the tracks, this has been MMA Attic on MMA Island. I'm Slick Diaz. This has been Eddie Pennybets. And in the words of the schmo, before I come up with one of my own, we're out.
Oh shit! I have to hit stop.
Yeah.
Damn it! I didn't get the time.